What if I told you there are places where you will never pay council tax again? Not reduced, not discounted, gone, completely eliminated from your life forever. Right now, across Britain, millions of retirees are watching their savings drain away. Council tax bills are climbing year after year. Some areas charge over £2,500 annually just for the privilege of owning a home. That is more than $3,000 vanishing from your retirement every single year. But here is what nobody tells you. There are 7 locations where this burden either shrinks dramatically or disappears entirely. Some of these places are hidden in plain sight within the UK itself. Others exist in a constitutional gray zone that most Americans have never heard of. One of them charges 0 income tax, 0 capital gains tax, 0 inheritance tax, and you can live there legally as a British Commonwealth resident. I have spent weeks digging through government databases, official council records, and real estate listings to bring you this list. These are not theories. These are verified facts with specific numbers you can check yourself. Before we start the countdown, take a moment to subscribe if you want more videos like this. We cover affordable living destinations that most channels completely ignore. Now let us begin with number 7 and work our way up to the most extraordinary tax-free destination in Europe. Number 7. Shetland Islands. This takes us to the wild northern edge of Scotland. The Shetland Islands sit closer to Norway than to London. Picture dramatic cliffs plunging into gray Atlantic waters, green rolling hills dotted with woolly sheep, and stone cottages with smoke curling from chimneys against moody skies. The northern lights dance overhead on clear winter nights. Here on these remote islands, residents pay around £1,200 per year in council tax for a Band D property. That is the lowest rate anywhere in Scotland. Compare that to Edinburgh, where you would pay nearly £2,000, or parts of England reaching £2,600 and climbing. Living in Shetland means saving roughly £1,000 every year just on council tax. That is over $1,200 staying in your pocket annually. But here is the honest reality. Shetland costs 20 to 65% more for daily essentials than mainland Scotland. Heating bills run high, groceries arrive by ferry and carry premium prices. The nearest major hospital is an hour away by plane. This is not for everyone. For retirees who dream of dramatic landscapes and tight-knit communities where neighbors still know your name, Shetland offers something rare. A wild, beautiful corner of Britain where the tax burden remains genuinely low. Number 6. Westminster. This one might surprise you. It certainly surprised me when I first discovered it. Westminster. Yes, that Westminster. The heart of London, home to Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, and some of the most expensive real estate on earth. Westminster charges just over £1,000 per year for a Band D property. That makes it one of the cheapest places for council tax in the entire country. How is this possible in central London? The answer comes down to business rates. Westminster hosts over 53,000 businesses. All those shops along Oxford Street, the hotels near Victoria Station, the offices packed into every square mile. They generate enormous tax revenue for the council. The result is that Westminster gets only 4.2% of its total income from residential council tax. Businesses effectively subsidize the residents. The council has saved over £350 million since 2010 through efficiency programs. Now, let me be clear about the catch. Property prices in Westminster are astronomical. We are talking millions of pounds for a modest flat. The council tax savings get swallowed instantly by housing costs. But if you already own property there or have the means to rent, your annual council tax bill sits at roughly half what you would pay in other parts of England. That fact alone challenges everything most people assume about London living costs. Number 5. Wandsworth. This location takes the crown for the lowest council tax anywhere in the United Kingdom. Wandsworth in South London charges just £990 per year for a Band D property as of 2025. The council has frozen this rate for 3 consecutive years. They proudly announce it as the cheapest council tax in the country, and the numbers back them up. Picture leafy residential streets lined with Victorian terraces, families pushing prams through Battersea Park, the Thames winding past converted warehouse apartments, young professionals and longtime residents mixing in bustling high street cafes. Wandsworth achieves this through what they call sound financial management. The council maintains some of the highest reserves and lowest debt levels in all of London. New developments like the 9 Elms project have added over 10,000 new council taxpayers, spreading the burden across more households. Compare this to Kingston just across the river, where residents pay £2,488. That is a difference of nearly £1,500 every single year. Over a decade, that adds up to £15,000 in savings. Again, property prices here remain steep by American standards. But within the UK system, Wandsworth represents the absolute floor for council tax. It cannot get lower than this without leaving the British tax system entirely, and that is exactly what we are about to do. Everything changes with our next 4 locations. These places are technically not part of the United Kingdom. They are crown dependencies, British but self-governing. They fly the Union Jack, but write their own tax laws. Most Americans have never heard of them. Even most Britons do not fully understand how they work. Number 4, Jersey. This brings us to the original Jersey, not New Jersey. It is a stunning island in the English Channel, just 14 miles from the coast of France. Picture golden sandy beaches stretching beneath medieval castle ruins. Cobblestone streets wind through the capital, Saint Helier. Fresh seafood restaurants overlook harbors filled with sailboats. Rolling green countryside is dotted with ancient granite farmhouses. Jersey has no council tax. Let me say that again. No council tax whatsoever. Council tax is simply not charged here. What they do have are parish rates. These are minimal local charges based on your property that typically run a few £100s per year. Nothing close to the thousands charged across mainland Britain. Parish rates remain low. Income tax is a flat 20%. There is no capital gains tax, no inheritance tax. There is no value-added tax, only a small 5% goods and services tax. 20% is the cap on income tax. Over 100,000 people live on this 45-square-mile island. It has proper infrastructure, modern hospitals, excellent schools, and high-speed internet. Regular flights to London take just 35 minutes. The catch is property prices. The average 3-bedroom house in Jersey costs £763,000 as of late 2025. You typically need to live there for 10 years before you can buy. Renting comes at premium prices too. Property prices are the main trade-off. But for retirees with substantial assets, looking for familiar British culture, a genuine community, and dramatically lower taxes, Jersey offers a compelling combination. You keep more of your retirement income while enjoying beaches that rival anything in Southern Europe. Number 3, Guernsey. This is Jersey's smaller neighbor. Imagine winding coastal paths overlooking turquoise waters. Historic harbor towns with outdoor markets selling fresh flowers and local produce. Quiet lanes perfect for cycling past centuries-old churches. A pace of life that feels decades removed from modern urban stress. Guernsey has 63,000 residents, and it shares the same fundamental tax advantages as Jersey. No council tax, 20% flat income tax, 0 capital gains, 0 inheritance tax. But Guernsey adds something special, a tax cap. If you move to Guernsey, your maximum annual tax bill on non-Guernsey income is capped at £160,000. On worldwide income, the cap is £320,000. No matter how much you earn or how much your investments grow, you will never pay more than that ceiling. For new residents who purchase open market property worth over £1.5 million, there is an even better deal. Your tax is capped at just £50,000 for your first 4 years on the island. The open market system means newcomers can only purchase certain designated properties. These tend to be more expensive than local market homes. But the trade-off is complete freedom to live and work on the island without restriction. Guernsey suits wealthy retirees who want absolute certainty about their tax exposure. You know exactly what your maximum bill will be. That predictability has enormous value when planning a retirement that might span 20 or 30 years. Number 2, Alderney. This is the secret that the other Channel Islands do not advertise. Alderney, the Forgotten Island. It is just 3.5 miles long and 1.5 miles wide. The population is roughly 2,100 people. And here is the remarkable part. Alderney offers all the tax benefits of Guernsey with none of the residency restrictions. You can simply move there, buy a house, and start living. No waiting period, no special permits, no open market requirements. If you are a citizen of the United Kingdom, Ireland, or the European Union, you can purchase property immediately. The median house price in Alderney in 2024 was £225,000. Properties range from around £100,000 for modest cottages up to £2 million for grand estates. Compare that to Guernsey, where open market properties regularly exceed £500,000. Picture a charming main street called Victoria Street, lined with independent shops and cozy pubs. Sandy beaches with crystal clear water, historic fortifications from the Second World War, a single primary school where teachers know every child by name, and a 9-hole golf course with stunning sea views from every fairway. The island has daily flights to Southampton and Guernsey. Superfast broadband reaches most properties. There is a resident doctor and medical center, though serious conditions require evacuation to Guernsey. This is not a place with shopping malls or chain restaurants. You will not find a cinema or a gym. But you will find a community where your neighbor brings over fresh vegetables from their garden and everyone gathers at the pub on Friday evenings. For adventurous retirees who want genuine tax savings without the high property prices of Jersey or Guernsey, Alderney represents perhaps the best value in the Channel Islands. But we have saved the most extraordinary location for last. Number 1, Sark. This is a place so unusual that even people who have lived their entire lives in Britain often have no idea it exists. 2.1 square miles of dramatic cliffs and hidden coves floating in the English Channel. Population approximately 500 people. No cars allowed, no airport, no streetlights. When the sun sets, the only illumination comes from cottage windows and an ocean of stars overhead. And here is what makes Sark unlike anywhere else in Europe. There is zero income tax, zero capital gains tax, zero inheritance tax, and zero value added tax. Read that list again. There is no income tax on Sark. None. The money you earn is yours to keep. Every single penny. What you do pay is a simple property tax based on the size of your dwelling. The minimum is around £630 per year. The maximum is approximately £12,600 per year. That is it. Your entire annual tax obligation to any government on Earth. Sark governs itself through a parliament called Chief Pleas. 18 elected representatives set the laws for this tiny jurisdiction. The British Crown handles defense and foreign affairs. Everything else is decided locally on the island. Transportation means bicycles, horse-drawn carriages, or tractors for hauling cargo. There is a ferry to Guernsey several times daily, taking about 45 minutes. From Guernsey, you can fly to London in 35 minutes. Property prices range from around £120,000 for a modest 2-bedroom cottage up to £400,000 for larger homes. The market moves slowly, with perhaps 50 properties changing hands in a typical year. The island has a resident doctor. A small school serves children up to age 12. Several restaurants and hotels operate mainly during the tourist season from Easter through October. Fiber internet now reaches most properties, allowing remote work and video calls. This is not a place with convenient healthcare or shopping options. Serious medical conditions mean helicopter evacuation. Groceries arrive by boat. Winter storms can isolate the island for days. But for certain people, this is paradise. Digital nomads running online businesses, retirees with modest needs and adventurous spirits, writers seeking inspiration, anyone who has dreamed of escaping the complexity of modern taxation. British and Irish citizens can move to Sark freely under the Common Travel Area Agreement. After 5 years of residence, you become eligible for a Channel Islands passport. This functions essentially like a British passport for travel purposes. Imagine waking up in a stone cottage overlooking the sea, walking to the local shop for fresh bread, spending your afternoon tending a garden or exploring coastal paths, knowing that every pound you save during your working years remains fully yours. No government taking a percentage. No annual council tax demand dropping through your letterbox. That is life on Sark. The last genuinely tax-free haven accessible to ordinary people in Europe. 7 locations. 7 different approaches to escaping the crushing weight of British council tax. From the wild beauty of Shetland to the impossible dream of Sark. Some of these places require significant wealth. Others remain surprisingly affordable. Some demand you embrace genuine isolation. Others offer all the comforts of modern life. The question is, which one called to you? Which landscape appeared in your imagination as you listened? Which set of numbers made you reach for a calculator? Now you know something that 99% of people will never discover. What you do with that knowledge is entirely up to you.